Hey guys, Jamie here. So today I just wanted to discuss a hot topic, and that is oxalates and grains. And now we're getting fed all this information out there that, oh God, that now vegetables are bad for you. Can you imagine, just for one, like our grandparents, okay? They had gardens, they ate more vegetables, probably fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables because they all had gardens, and depending where you live in the world, you had fruit trees. They probably ate more than anyone else in our history, because I feel like each generation it's been less and less and less, and we've been eating more meat and dairy and processed foods for sure. They ate more than anybody, and yet a lot of these people lived until their 90s, 100s, and they didn't suffer from oxalate dumping or all this. It's all just such bullshit. And some of this information, and I understand that some people are going to believe this. We all kind of read information, and for each individual, we either believe it or we don't. And for me personally, all that oxalate stuff just never rang true to me. It didn't make any sense, and it doesn't explain why people have symptoms. They're trying to make it seem like it's an explanation as to why people have symptoms, but most people in this modern world, let's just be honest, are eating standard American. Most people are eating standard American. Okay, they're really not eating spinach. Okay, let's be honest. Most people who eat a heavy meat and dairy diet do not favor vegetables. They have two totally different taste profiles, and if the more meat and dairy you're probably eating, the less taste you probably will have for vegetables. So we're not seeing people eating copious amounts of spinach or celery or kale. Like, nobody is doing this, okay? Only the people who are doing it are people who are maybe plant-based or raw. A lot of raw people get in a lot of vegetables, and that's a very small percentage. Most people are not living that lifestyle, but yet everyone's sick, and they're trying to make it seem like oxalates are the reason for people's kidney problems, why they're having calcium issues. And here's the thing, most people are not eating these foods. If they have some spinach, it's literally just a couple bites in their casserole that's loaded with cheese and maybe a grain and some meat, okay? And I don't see a lot of people just gorging on things like celery or kale. It is just not happening. So this is not the reason why people have calcium problems and kidney problems, okay? People have calcium problems because this is what one of the biggest things is, that they're relating it to calcium and certain organs, and that there's oxalate dumping. And the reason why people have calcium issues is you have you have acidity in the body. So some people have very acidic bodies, and the acidity, what happens is calcium is taken from things like your bones and your teeth in your body, to help buffer the acidity that's going on in your body. And the reason why people are acidic, okay, is things like adrenaline is very acidic, okay? When adrenaline is released in the body, it is very acidic. Things like caffeine, okay, stimulants, caffeine, chocolate, very acidic. A high fat diet, very acidic. And when you eat lots of high fat foods, your blood thickens, and that means you have reduced oxygen. Adrenaline is released into the bloodstream to help thin the blood. It's a survival mechanism, and because it's not getting enough oxygen, so adrenaline comes in, thins the blood, so that way there's enough oxygen. We need to have oxygenated blood. That's very, very important. So high fat diets, again, very acidic. What's something else that's acidic? Anything that produces adrenaline, if you're going through high stress, very high salt is very acidic. And so when you have, like I said, a very acidic body, the acidity in the body has to be buffered by calcium. So it starts to leach calcium from your bones, things like from your teeth, and then these crystals form, okay? So it is not because and like having bad kidneys is not it's not caused by oxalates and things like spinach and celery and greens. It is from high fat diets. It's from things that are acidic. Okay, so spinach, you know, if I've been having about a pound a day of spinach for about 7 or 8 years for sure. That's a lot of spinach. And I have other things. I have celery. I have some other greens here and there, some vegetables. And I don't have any of these problems that, you know, that these doctors and stuff are now trying to say is caused by oxalates. They're just trying to throw out any reason that you know, for your symptoms and your suffering. And it's all just meant to confuse people. It really is. It's just meant to confuse you so you don't know what the hell to do to get better, okay? What planet are we living on, really? Our grandparents knew that fruits and vegetables were good for them. They knew that. Okay, a lot of their diet came from these very things, especially vegetables from gardens. We have really gotten away from this practice, so far away from eating lots of vegetables. Like, and like, I just can't believe we've gotten to this point that we have been manipulated and conditioned into thinking that fruits and vegetables are not good for you. And it just gets me so a little triggered and a little upset, because that's just the power of conditioning and manipulation. And that's what bothers me, is like, if you put out a message enough day after day from all these different sources, institutions, now you got doctors and naturopaths saying it, and it does get me a little bit irritated, because it's not right. It's not right. All this is being done intentionally to confuse people, and that's just so not right. And it just kind of gets me pissed off, to be honest. But it's just crazy, the power of conditioning, that we have convinced people not to eat fruit, and also too, in that sense, not only not to eat fruit and vegetables from your garden, that they're bad, okay, but that you should be eating something fake instead. So they don't really demonize processed food and all this fake stuff and fake meats and fake that. And they're trying to demonize all whole foods, okay? It's crazy. Like, it really is crazy, especially fruits and vegetables. Like, but anyway, so yeah, guys, oxalate, so I think I mentioned this before, but oxalates are in all foods. It's also in your cheese. It's also, there's oxalates in meat, okay? But what we need to understand is that there is oxalates in these foods, yes, but there's also oxalates in the foods as well. So these foods, when we consume them, actually aren't problematic to the human body, okay? Oxalates are not problematic to the human body. There is oxalates in all food, but there's also antioxalates in foods that make it so that's not a detriment to the human body. And it's really sad that people have gotten away from foods that actually can bring a lot of healing to them and actually could solve a lot of their suffering and problems. And so yeah, guys, anyway, so that's my message on oxalates. I mean, what you do you. You know, we all have to make decisions for ourselves about what information we choose to believe and trust, and that's all just based on our free will. And I mean, you do you. If it works for you not to eat fruits and vegetables, and you're just gonna eat, you know, all meat all day, or I don't know, like eggs or whatever, then, you know, you do you, okay? We all have free will, and we all have the right to make our own decisions and to believe whatever it is that we want to believe. That's our right, that's our free will. And unfortunately, if we believe the wrong thing, we're going to suffer consequences, and that's just the name of the game. But yeah, guys, so anyways, that's my message for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back again for another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.